Hi. I've titled this live, How Can I Stop My Anxiety? Because it's a question that I get asked an awful lot by clients and just generally people that email me or send me a message. And the reality is, anxiety is part of us, it's part of our life, it's part of being a human being, it's part of the fight and flight, and it's something that we need to survive. It's part of our survival mechanism. And often people are looking for a quick fix. What can I do? Give me a quick tip that I can use when I'm anxious. So there are some things that people recommend, counting back from 5 to 1, using our senses. There's lots of grounding techniques that you can do when you're in the anxious place. But what I like to do with clients is to look a bit further upstream. Once we're feeling anxious, we're very much running on emotions. There's lots of feeling going on, whether that's physiological, what's going on in our body, the dry throat, sometimes it's like a ball in your throat and you feel like you can't swallow, the sweaty palms, racing heartbeat, all those sorts of things. That's physiological. That's kind of when we're in the feeling stage. So it's often better to work on things before we get to that, to look at the other side of the coin, to set an intent. And one of the things I say to clients is to say, I'm not going to be anxious today, or I'm going to push through my anxiety today, or I'm going to do this even though I'm feeling anxious today. It means that we need to think about being anxious before being anxious, if that makes sense. So I always recommend looking at the other side of the coin. Maybe set an intent about, today I'm going to be more relaxed, or today I'm going to be more focused, so that anxiety isn't at the forefront of your mind. There's lots of ways that you can get help with anxiety if you're feeling anxious. You can see a private therapist, you can go on an NHS waiting list, you can join a support group, you can do lots of things. And I would suggest just looking at what feels best for you. I'm in lots of support groups around. I'm a psychotherapist, and I'm in groups that have got other psychotherapists in there. I'm in groups around marketing and things like that. And for me, I find being part of a group mentality quite helpful for me. One, it makes me accountable. If I say I'm going to do something in that group, then often I'm more likely to carry it out. Two, it's nice to be amongst people that are feeling the same way that you are, that you can share things and it's kind of normalized. You're not out there on a limb, you're not out there on your own, and that can be quite important. And there's something about, I don't know, subscribing to these sort of support groups that can instill fear in some of us, that you're signing your life away. And I just want to explore that a little bit. I've recently started a membership group, and the first month is free. I've advertised it, and I find it intriguing. I'm curious about. I've advertised this, that the first month is free, and I literally cannot give a free month of support from me as a psychotherapist away. People are kind of skeptical over free things. So that's the first thing that I wanted to mention. The other thing is about one-on-one therapy versus support or group therapy in a group. And that when it's around mental health, sometimes people tend to overthink it, or to think, I couldn't share my problems in a group. I couldn't be in group therapy. If I'm going to talk about personal things, if I'm going to expose myself, then I want to do this on a one-to-one. And I would just like to encourage you to explore that. It's kind of like, if we look at it, that having a personal trainer one-to-one, where you book a session and you go and have a workout with the person one-to-one, and that costs more money usually. Probably, depends where you are, probably £20 or £30 for that hour with that one-to-one, and it is quite specific. You go and say, I want to get rid of my belly, or I want to do, build up my muscle or get stamina, or whatever it is. So it's kind of one-to-one, and it's tailored to what it is that you want, which is brilliant. And that would be the same if you were seeing a private psychotherapist or counsellor or something like that. You would go with quite specific things that you wanted to work through. The other side of it is if we're talking about the physical side of things, and exercise, to maybe join a class, maybe join a boot camp or a Pilates class or aqua aerobics or one of those things, where the price is much less. You're probably talking £5 or £6 for an hour class in a group session, where it offers something different to the one-to-one, personal trainer, because again, you're kind of accountability. There's that group mentality that we're all in this together. We all want the same thing at the end of the day. And if I'm having a crappy day, then there will be other people in that boot camp or in that Pilates class or whatever it is that are going to make me feel better. I might not want to actually turn up one night, but I promised Susie down the road that I would go and that we'd do it together. So you kind of have that accountability, and that support from the people around you. And I think that's got its place, whether that's, around, our physical self and going to the gym type thing, or whether it's our mental health and doing that. I know for me, I've had group therapy, I've had individual therapy, and sometimes it's nice to be amongst people, but to sit back. And I can honestly say that in the group therapy that I've been part of, I've learnt from the experience of the other people that are in there. They might ask a question that I've thought of myself. They might ask a question that the answer that's given kind of resonates with me as well. So it's kind of getting it third hand, if that makes sense. Same as what it would be, I don't know, if you're in a yoga class and somebody's got the wrong position and they correct them, you might automatically correct yourself as well. So I just want you to explore the different options that are available for us around our mental health. Is there a quick fix? I'm not sure that there is. Sometimes we look for a magic pill. But if there is, it's usually a short... It's like a short burst of something. If we want to make lasting change, then we need to invest in ourselves. We need to invest in the journey. And that's quite an important thing. To just say, I want to be anxiety free. I'm not sure whether that's a possibility, because as I said at the beginning, anxiety is part of us. It's part of our makeup as a human being, and it's there for a reason. It's there to protect us. Our anxiety isn't out to get us. But what is it about being anxiety free that's driving you? Is it that you want to, I don't know, go and visit family more often? Or is it that you want to, apply for a job and get a job? What's the drive behind it? And that's the bit that I would focus on. Maybe more so than actually the end result. It's the journey, and investing time and often, commitment to yourself in that journey, because we're all worth it. And if we're invested in it, then that change becomes a longer lasting change. It's not a sticking plaster. It's not just looking at one problem and fixing that one problem. It might be a relationship, whatever. It's about looking at changing ourselves. We can't change other people. All we can do is look at ourselves, how we react, what our thoughts and beliefs are around certain things. And that's what we can work on. So just be curious about whether it's one-to-one that you actually want, or whether you'd be better getting support in a group with like-minded people. Don't be closed-minded about this. It's more important that you get the support that you need as and when you need it. So I hope that's helped. I shall be around. I will be doing more of these lives. I'm on Instagram as well at the moment, which is why I'm kind of keep looking backwards and forwards, because I've got two things going on at the same time. But feel free to get in touch with me. You can contact me, Jackie at jackiejones.co.uk, and I will get back to you. You can find me on Facebook, Jackie Jones Coaching and Psychotherapy, and I'm also on Instagram as well. So I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care and have a good week.